Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on Their Fight Story with Igdalia. We have an amazing fighter on today. His name is Andrew Valdina, who will be debuting his professional career in October. Andrew, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Why now?
Oh, let's get right down to the meat and potatoes. All right, fire away. All right. So I think now there was like a mix of different things. I was saying a few days ago to some other podcasts and stuff like obviously someone would like to go onto their pro debut with a nice dominant win or just something to really leave your mark in the amateurs and leave it. Obviously I'm coming off a loss to Siegfried Stevens, but that kid's a stud. I got to the point in my amateur career where I got to fight the best of the best in the amateurs, and I had to have someone fly up to fight me, and one little mistake cost the entire fight. That's the level I brought myself to, and I corrected it day in, day out ever since that fight. And Joe Lozon, my head coach, he told me, like, listen, you're ready for the pros. He texted me right after my fight, actually. And the other thing is he sent me his Tapology, and he said, scroll on down to my amateur record. So I scrolled down, and he was also 4-3 as an amateur coming off a loss. So, and then he ends up being the UFC legend, you know what I mean? So I'm very confident going into the pros, regardless of going off a loss, and I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, you're in good hands. And if your coach is telling you and he's giving you he's co-signing, then you definitely know you're going the right way.
Yep.
Based on your amateur career, is there a particular fight that made you look back and think about your fight career?
Is there a certain fight that made me look back on my amateur career?
So you've had 7 fights. So out
Yep.
of your 7 fights, is there one that really stands out to you that made you realize, like, either A, I really need to focus more before I become a pro, or B, you know what, I'm ready. Like, it's time.
I think after this, so like I said, piggybacking off what I just said, the Siegfried fight, my last one, I knew I was ready even after the loss. I knew I could hang with the best, and I was winning that second round, whatever. So that one, I knew I was ready. But I think also the Arthur fight, his teammate actually, they just produced studs down there in SVG, Alabama. But his teammate, when I fought him for the belt in February, I've gone the distance before for 3 rounds, but going 5 rounds for a championship belt like that really like even though I lost, in my eyes, I still think I won, whatever. But yeah, even though I lost, going 5 rounds for a belt like that against someone like a stud like Arthur, that really boosted my confidence as well, saying like, okay, I can hang with anybody. But I think any fight before Arthur, I was definitely like, okay, I'm not ready for pros yet. I need to keep going. So, first, second, third, and fourth fight, I was definitely regardless of wins or loss, if I won or lost those ones, I didn't think I was ready for the pros until after maybe the Arthur one, and then going further.
Now, you plan to be fighting in October.
Yep, October 29th.
How do you feel about your matchup?
I feel really confident. So I'm fighting Rob Fuller. Anybody in the regional scene knows who Rob Fuller is. He's a gangster. Let the record be what it is. But he comes out like ready to swing for the goddamn fences against whoever that is in front of him. You see that every single fight he has. Sometimes he comes out on top and he clips people that are careless. You know what I mean? But I'm not careless. I'm the opposite of that. I'm going to be taking Rob like he's the most game opponent ever, and I'm just going to do what I train for every single day, and I'm going to finish him in the first round. So I feel very confident.
Rob Fuller is more of a stand-up guy.
Yep.
Have you adjusted anything in your fight camp for this particular fight?
I mean, I'm not going to give away what exactly working on, but a few things that we've been doing is just it's not like out of pocket to say that a lot of this fight can end up being in the inner pocket, you know what I mean, like fighting real close distance, because he loves to come in guns blazing, thrown here, and then the distance closes so much. So we've been doing a lot of like pocket boxing and stuff like that, and whether I use it or not in the fight, I mean, you're gonna have to tune in October 29th to check it out, everybody. But listen, I'm not giving away my game plan. I like Rob, but he's going down. I'll tell you that much.
What are your long-term goals in your fight career?
It sounds like a broken record. You know what I mean? All these different fighters saying they want to be the best of the best, but I truly do want to be the best of the best someday. I train every day because I love it, and that I just know that something great is going to come out of this. I really, really, truly do. And if I just keep my head down the whole time and keep grinding like I'm doing, I really want to get to the the tip of the spear of the fighters that, the low percentage of fighters that get to that point. That's what I want to be. And just to be the best of the best and have provide my future family with, a good life and stuff like that. So those are my future goals.
What's the biggest influence in your life?
I say my dad, my mom, of course, but my dad is a little bit like closer just because we have that guy relationship a little bit father son, and he's taught me how to be a man and all that different stuff, and told me to train for what you want in life and all that. And then going further, I'd say my coaches here at Lowe's on MMA, Joe really keeps me feeling like very professional because he's been through all this, the UFC lifestyle. And so he's just, he's been a big influence for every single fight, honestly. He makes me feel very professional.
You guys have a lot of great fighters coming out of your gym. How does it feel
Yeah.
training with them? Like, do you feel like you are right there parallel to them? Or are you feeling intimidated, or have you felt intimidated?
Oh, it depends on the day you ask me, you know what I mean? But, some days I'm getting my ass kicked up, from top to bottom. But some days I'm hanging with the best. But all in all, no. Some highlight fighters in particular I can call out here is Connor Matthews. He was just on the Contender Series, and he's one of my main trainer partners here at the higher level of people here. And more times than not, he's probably beating me up a little bit. But I do have those days where I'm hanging with him, I'm taking him down, I'm hitting him with some shots and stuff. Another one is Carlos Lazoya, who is the number 15 flyweight in the U.S. right now. And I'm so great. We're all grateful at Lowe's MMA to have him here because he just has so much knowledge, and he gets all of us ready for our fights, especially being a flyweight where I'm a bantamweight. He's actually has a fight the next day in Texas after mine, so we're in the same fight camp. And more times than not, I'm the nail and he's the hammer. But I definitely feel myself like growing, even though I'm getting my ass kicked by him. I definitely feel like I'm evolving and getting better by going with someone like Carlos and Connor.
Yeah, no, it's important to definitely spar and train with those that are in a higher level, because yes, it's okay for you to help those that are, starting, because, you can guide them, but you also need somebody to teach you and help you focus, because, you have Joe Lozon with you.
I hear you. I agree. I couldn't agree more. When Joe's not there, we kind of, a lot of the time we have to find our own way a little bit and reach out to different trainer partners to get people there and all that. So I'm grateful for everybody I have here at Lowe's MMA. They get me ready. They kick my ass. I dish it out sometimes, and it all works out here. We're a good family.
No, you guys are. You can see it day in and day out. The love, the loyalty, the respect, the integrity that comes with that name, because there are gyms that have a certain reputation, but when you hear Lozon, it's not an intimidating name, but it's intimidating for those that aren't loyal, that aren't dedicated, that don't have integrity, that don't have all of those attributes. How do you balance your camps? How is that dynamic? Because you have so many fighters either in the same camp, but different styles, different game plans. How do you guys make it all work?
I mean, sometimes it's chaotic in the gym, right? Everyone's got fights going on at the same time, and some people are seeing Joe get ready for his fights. Seeing like Saturdays are sparring day, right? And anybody in New England is welcome to come down. We all encourage it. It gets everybody better. But Joe's getting ready for his fight against Cowboy, right? So he's in the cage, he's sparring, getting ready, and us all being able to watch that before our rounds or even during our rounds, we're like, oh man, like this is fucking motivating. This guy's getting ready for a UFC fight against Cowboy Cerrone. This is Joe Lozon. Like I see Joe every day, and it doesn't really like hit me that I'm talking to like a UFC legend right now. But he is, and he's fighting another UFC legend, and we're just all pumped up, getting ready for our fight at the same time. And it was definitely something when that was going on. And as far as like right now where Joe doesn't have a fight, but we also have other people having fights, I mean, it all works out. Everybody has their own schedules that they stick to. I have my set schedule, and, I link up with other fighters and say, hey, can you come to the gym at this time to help me get ready? And, we all care for one another. So they try to accommodate as best they can.
How do you balance your life?
So I got my bachelor's in at BSU in college for marketing management, and I got that in 2019, 2020, something like that. I think early 2020. And so school has already been done. I got that all taken care of, and honestly, right now, all I've been doing is training and fighting. I'm lucky enough to have, and fortunate enough to have sponsors that kind of keep my head above water at times. You know what I mean? Because it definitely does get a little tricky not having like a quote unquote like real job during trying to pursue a professional fight career. But the sponsors keep my head afloat. I'm always looking for a new way to make some money doing what I love. So I might be opening up some like private training sessions soon. To make a couple more bucks, and I sell shirts. I have fight shirts that I came out with almost every fight now, and those do pretty well. It's funny you asked. Before this conversation with you, I had a training partner of mine, Brandon Mendez, and he's telling me like, "Hey man, like listen, we got this bartending gig, and you're making like 25 an hour somehow, and on top, like that's aside from tips." So I think after this fight, I might be dabbling with that a little bit during the fight camp. So I don't know. Hey, if you guys need a drink, you come find me. But first, me. How about that?
So what happens when you win your fight and you got to go to work?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when it comes, right? But as
we need
right
to
now,
prepare. We need to prepare. We need to know how to market it.
I'm gonna win this fight. If I'll give them my schedule, and if they can fit me in whatever they can, that's great. If they can't, then I'm fine with fighting. I'm content. You know what I mean?
It's good to have a balance and be focused on what it is that you want, because you can't lose certain things that you have planned out just because you didn't really, not saying you, but didn't look at all the other options. It's like, and a lot of people think, oh well, this is my game plan and this is it. And you're right, it is your game plan. However, you also need to prepare for what if something else happens. Like just like if there's a rainstorm and there's a tornado and there's a hurricane, well, you need to prepare to have candles and flashlights and matches. Are you going to use them? No, but you never know. You just need to have all that.
You actually sound a lot like Joe Lozon right now, because he's a big advocate for, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. One of my favorite songs by Jim Croce, I Got a Name. He says, "If he gets me nowhere, I'll go there proud." You know what I mean? If this fight career gets me nowhere, I'm still gonna be happy, friggin' fighting locally for the rest of my life, even though it's not what I want 100%. At the end of the day, fighting is my true love, and I'm fine with it.
Okay, well, we already established that you want to be the best of the best. Right. You want to be on top. You want to be dominating your division. No question about it. So on your downtime, since you do marketing and you're doing your shirts, that's when you can start marketing your shirts and start promoting yourself.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing that Lozon tells you. Hey, you work on this until you get here. So what you're doing is you're putting gas in the car to get you to your destination. And then when you get there, you're golden. You're good. You got what you need.
I like that very much.
Do you have any advice for the upcoming fighters, the amateurs that are debating whether or not it's time for them to move into their professional career?
I would say get as much ring time as you possibly can as an amateur. A lot of the fighters, at least in this regional scene in New England, I think there's so many fighters that go pro after maybe like 3 or 4 fights, maybe 5 fights. I went a little bit longer. I went 7. There's people down in SBG, Alabama, like Arthur and Siegfried, who's taken like 10 to 13 fights as an amateur. And I think it's so smart. If you have the flexibility to be able to take all these fights as an amateur without a time constraint, say you're still young, whatever, do it. I think that's the biggest thing. Ring time is so damn important. It just gets you more comfortable every single fight. If you're thinking about going pro, definitely get all those fights underneath you and have people from an outside perspective, like Joe is mine, have your head coach or something be honest with you and have a real talk and say, listen, you're not ready for pro or you are ready for pro. And, just talk to the people that really know it.
And I think it's important both for the fighter and for the coaches. Some amateur fighters may not feel ready to go pro. And it's important that just like the coaches are using their voice to let them know, hey, we believe you are ready. It's also important that the fighter lets the coach know, hey, I'm not really feeling it right now. Because the key is your mindset. If you're going into something saying, I'm not prepared and I'm not going to make it, that's the outcome that's going to happen. Because instead of looking for the opening to win, you're looking for the opening to lose. And that's not even what you want, but that's what you're focusing on. So it's important that you use your voice as a fighter. The coaches use their voice as the coaches and the one seeing them and being responsible for your fight career. And having that mindset and trusting each other. And it's important that even if you, let's say, heaven forbid, a random coach walks in, to Lozon and now wants to take over and do all these stuff with coaching, if you're not comfortable with that person, then you need to speak up in a professional way and either let somebody know like, hey, he might be good, but we don't work well together, and it's going to affect my career, because you don't want it to affect your career. You've been working so hard, and this goes for everybody. It's like you guys are working so hard to achieve this. You can't allow anyone to be that little pebble that's going to mess you up.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I think definitely trust your coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Know who's been there for you, and know who don't bite the hand that feeds you either. Trust them all the way
Mm-hmm.
through, and then be honest with yourself, like you said. If have your voice be heard and all that, and then as well as like what you were saying, like you don't want one little pebble to be in the way
Mm-hmm.
of your goals and stuff like that. Definitely surround yourself with those who have similar goals, and not some low life type guys that are gonna freaking
Mm-hmm.
drag you down from what you want to do in life. You know what I mean? Surround yourself with those that are good.
Yeah, and you are surrounded by a very great team.
I'm lucky.
And yeah, you're very lucky. The love and loyalty, the respect that shines from that gym. But again, you guys have built yourself, and you guys work hard. So I'm very, happy that this is where your path is going, that you're going to be, pursuing your professional career. It's pretty amazing, because
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it is very cool seeing, where someone starts and where they end
Mhm.
up, regardless if it's at the tip of the top where they want to be or somewhere down here, whatever. It's just cool seeing the journey. I'm already seeing, as a young guy here, hasn't even hit the pros yet. Like I've seen a lot of different friends and fighters' careers that they fall short, and I like seeing their mindset where they
Mhm.
go with it, and if they keep pursuing, if they hang it up, it's I'm definitely someone that likes to take all these different bits and pieces from different fighters, and make it my own a little bit and see how they deal with things. So
Yeah, you definitely have to. It's great to be observant and paying attention to learn what works for you and what doesn't work, what you like and what you don't like, because a lot of people will just be done with it. I've seen fighters, they've been on a winning streak, and then all of a sudden they lose and they retire because
yeah,
they were never prepared for a loss. So it's something that everybody should learn, whether it's in their amateur career or professional career, how to deal with it, because when it happens, then it could mess you up, big time.
yep,
Your mindset could be altered, and it's not cool. After all that hard work, to just let it go, it's not ideal.
yeah, it is unfortunate like that.
Is there a name that you want to eventually fight in your professional career?
As an amateur, I was all about those call outs and stuff like that. I was like, oh, yo, where's this dude? Why don't you sign me up? All that different stuff. But I think now I'm taking more of a strategic approach, and I'm just gonna let Joe. I think he knows what's best with my next opponent.
Before we conclude with this interview, is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
I wasn't prepared. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm gonna say for sponsors, I'm gonna try and freestyle it. I think I remember.
Ooh.
So shout out to Into Action Recovery. That's a 12-step program that my family actually founded. It's helps with people suffering from addiction, stuff like that. And that's in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. U.S. Golden Pond. That's a company in Manchester, New Hampshire. My sister and her boyfriend actually run it, and they have the best deals. They always have new inventories. Check them out as well. In Manchester, New Hampshire. McNeil Landscaping. That's a buddy of mine. He's in Drake, Mass, and he covers basically all of Massachusetts, I'm pretty sure, or at least the North Shore. And those leaves are coming down for this fall season, so hit them up. Invisaware is a really cool one. I've been kind of like sounding like a broken record in all these different podcasts preaching about them, but this is very cool. So say you have like a piece of jewelry like this, right? And you're walking out of a bar with a shady character or something like that, 2 a.m, and you don't feel right. It's a little suspicious. You don't have your cell phone on you. It's dead. So you take this piece of jewelry and you click this little hidden button in this like little compartment it's got, and emergency services come like right away. And that's a really cool gift to give to like, your daughter or something like that. She's going to college or anything like that, Party Time Rental. That's a tent company that my father runs as well, and I help him out here and there. So that's in like northern Mass, southern New Hampshire. Tents, tables, and chairs. Kelsey Sheehan Photography. She actually trains at Lowe's on MMA, and she does great wedding photos, basically around the Rhode Island area. She might be a little booked up for 2022, but 2023, she said she has plenty of openings. Get Right Nutrition. That's in Drake, Mass, and I hit that place after my workouts. It's great, awesome protein shakes, keeps me recovered and ready to go for the next workout. Patty's Ale House in Drake as well. That's my hometown, Drake. And that's not the place I hit after the workouts, but that's the place I'm going to hit after the fight. So you find me at Patty's Ale House, I'm going to snag you a beer, all right? Let's celebrate. Kayla Frazier Graphic Design. She does the graphic design for all my T-shirts, and she does little like logos for me through Instagram posts and all that. She also might not be free for 2022, but 2023 she'll definitely be open. So reach out, any fighters that want cool shirt designs or logos for their marketing and stuff like that. And all these companies can be found in my social media links, and all my social media is Andrew Valdina. Pretty straightforward. But if you click the link in my bio in any social media outlet, all these companies are going to pop up there. And finally, Face Off Fight Gear. They're like one of my newer sponsors, and they're all about giving back to the fighters in different ways. And I'm fortunate enough to have them sponsor me. And they gave me all this free merch from rash guards to grappling shorts to T-shirts. They got some new hats coming out. So definitely give them a follow on Instagram or something like that and look into that. And shout out to everyone at Lowe's on MMA that's keeping me ready to go. Joe Lozon, all these studs here that train with me day in, day out, kicking my ass. So thank you to them as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate it too. Thank you. This was fun.